Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the potential replacement for Soul Striker. A lot of people have been talking about this new SSG Goku archetype in this way, where the leader kind of resembles Soul Striker, and a lot of people think he might get hit on the ban list. I personally don't think Soul Striker is going to be on the ban list, nor do I think it needs to be hit, just because it hasn't been putting up the crazy results that decks like Cell Surge, Icarus, and Gogeta Xeno have. But we'll cover that in today's video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And anyways, let's just jump right on into this. Alright, so we have the new Goku leader coming out in set 16. Activate battle. If this card is in a battle and you choose one sand card in your hand, discard it, draw one card, then add up to one card from light to hand, and negate this skill for the battle. So obviously it's pretty restrictive that you have to pitch a sand in order to activate this effect. Granted, there are lots of really good blue sands in the game, so you'll probably be able to construct a deck. Even if you didn't want to play this deck's archetype, you'll probably be able to build a deck where you have plenty of pitch targets and can still play your other techie cards. But obviously there is a archetype intended to be played with this deck, so that's why this leader does what it does. Awaken your lives 2 or less, or you place 5 sand cards under this card from your drop area. You may draw 3 cards, untap 1 energy, and flip this card over. Okay, so shout out to the Discord, because I was like racking my brain for probably like a good 20 minutes setting up this video, and I was reading that awaken incorrectly, and I read it out loud like 7 times. I thought you had to somehow put 5 sands from under him to the drop in order to awaken, but it turns out I just can't read properly. You have to take 5 sands from your drop, put it under him, which is actually not too bad, obviously, considering the fact of your activate battle and that you can get a really souped up awaken without having to actually be at 2 life. That is kind of nice, not gonna lie. And obviously it helps make up for the fact that your leader doesn't actually plus on the unawakened side. It just kind of cycles cards, so the fact that you draw 3 and awaken is kind of nice. And then we have the awakened side, SSG Goku Crimson Warrior. When this card attacks, draw 1 card, then switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. So this is the main comparison you get to Soul Striker, right? You attack, you draw, and you untap 1 as opposed to 2. So obviously this could be looked at as like a retrained, less powerful version of Soul Striker. But then it does have an additional activate battle. Once per turn, place X cards from under this card in your owner's drop area. This card gets plus 2k for the battle for each card placed in a drop using the skill. Additionally, if you place 3 or more cards in a drop area using the skill, draw 1 card, then switch to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. So that is kind of cool how you can get an additional draw and an additional untap. Obviously that's only gonna be usable a couple times per game. Well, I guess technically that's only gonna be playable once per game, because you have to get rid of 3, which is more than half your cards underneath the leader. But yeah, that's almost like a surge effect, which is kind of neat. But again, just like talking about the Soul Striker replacement possibility, one, I don't think they design leaders with the idea of banning another leader in an upcoming set. I just don't think that's like in their wheelhouse, and like that's like a fair point. I don't think it should be in their wheelhouse, because the meta can obviously shift and adapt while they're making sets. So I don't think they're making this leader with the idea of banning Soul Striker. And yes, there are clear comparisons you can draw, like the untap and whatnot, but this leader honestly is a lot worse than Soul Striker, not only because it's not as generic as Soul Striker, but also because, again, you don't really, you know, plus on the unawakened side, and your awakening is not quite as easy as Soul Striker. So I don't think they're banning Soul Striker. I don't think this is a replacement, but it is maybe kind of neat for its own archetype. Then we have SSG Vegeta Silent Strike as our Unison. We have an Empower 3, 2 drop 15k, plus 1 activate main, draw 2, then choose 2 cards you're going to place on the bottom of your deck. Activate main minus X for every 2 markers you remove using the skill. Choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. Additionally, if you remove 4 or more markers using this skill, this card gets plus 10,000 power and double strike for the turn, so you get some additional removal as well as a potential finisher, which is kind of cool. I don't think this Unison is like the craziest thing we've ever seen, but it is kind of nice how it's got the Empower 3. There are lots of really good blue Unisons you could play, like maybe even Zeno Cosmic Unison, for example, and then you can give this the additional markers, use the minus X. That's kind of cool there. Alright, then we have the main engine for the deck, or at least the start of it. Son Goku Harness Power. We have a 3-drop 14k battle card. Auto at the end of a battle in which card using a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop, and it is a 1-drop 10k combo. So it's obviously a 3-drop. You can cheat it in for 1, which is pretty much what you're going to want to do. probably during your opponent's turn, using things like Dimension Magic and Bean to get additional energy, but it is going to come and play in rest mode at 14k, so you want to be very careful at what point you combo it in. If you're comboing it in defensively, want to make sure your opponent doesn't have any more attacks to deal with it, or maybe pieces of removal if you can help it. But anyways, Activate main once per turn for 3 of any color. Place 1 Gohan, Goten, Vegeta, Trunks, and Videl under this card from your drop. Then choose up to 1 SSG Goku Miraculous Transformation or SSG Goku Legendary Spirit in your hand and play it on top of this card in active mode. So Miraculous Transformation is a card in this set that we'll read in a second, but Legendary Spirit, I didn't recognize it as a card in this actual set, so I was like, what the heck are they talking about? But then I went and looked it up, obviously, and it's an older black promo, not even older actually, I think it was like the pre-release card from like a set or two ago. It's just kind of weird that it's, you know, playable in this deck. I guess it's just more thematic than anything. But first we'll read Miraculous Transformation. We have a 6-drop 20k, deflect, unique, triple strike, barrier, lots of keywords there. Counter attack, the attack and play this card in rest mode. Permanent, during your opponent's turn, reduce energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each card in your opponent's energy. So by the time you're ready to use this as a negate, it'll always be a 3 cost, which is great. Permanent, if your leader card's mono blue and this card's in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards can't attack leader cards. That's dope. This thing has great protection. It's pretty much always gonna land unless it gets countered, but besides that, this thing is just really solid. It is kind of costly for 3 energy, but in a deck like Soul Striker, in a deck like SS4 Vegeta, SS3 Reboot, I can see this card being really solid. In this deck in particular, the 3 energy negate might be a little too costly, but I mean, if you're going to bring it out with Harness Power and then swing with it for triple strike, maybe swing at a Unison or swing at the leader for pressure, that seems pretty good. Then we have Son Goku Legendary Spirit. So a card you can bring out with Harness Power, but honestly not one you're probably going to play. It's overall just a weak seeming card in my opinion. It's a 5-drop black card, blocker, permanent. This card gets plus 3k for each card under it. Activate main / battle. Once per turn, Spirit boost 1. Place 1 card under this card in the owner's drop and switch this card to active mode. Activate main, limit 1 for 1 energy of any color. If you have 3 or more energy and choose 5 sands in your drop area, play this card from your hand, then place the chosen cards under this card. So it can be a beefy blocker. I mean, it's really not all that impressive. I don't see any reason you play it in this deck, especially because it's off color. But I guess it's more just thematic as to why they decided to include it in Goku Harness Power's effect. Now we have a lot of our support cards for the deck. So we're starting with Gohan Harness Power, 2-drop 15k, auto for a blue if your leader card's blue. At the end of a battle in which this card is using a combo from your hand or drop, play this card from your drop in rest mode. Kind of nice how we had the combo into play, like the callback to the old school types of cards. Auto, if your SSG Crimson Warrior is in a battle and there are no cards in your combo area, when your leader card places this card in a drop from under your leader, use this card in a combo from your drop. So lots of these cards have this same effect, so I won't reread it every single time, but that is kind of neat how if you're using the activate battle on the leader, you get a free combo out of it, and then if you want to pay the additional energy, you can get a 15k body out of it as well. So I do like how that all kind of combos together. Then we have Gohan the Interceptor, 2-drop 10k barrier, auto once per turn, switch this card to rest mode. When you take damage from an opponent's attack, switch up to 1 of your blue energy to active mode, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than the current energy, and return it to the owner's hand. This card's pretty meh in my opinion. I can kind of see strategies where this might be a decent sideboard against, but I don't think you main it just for the Gohan name or for its effect. It's kind of weird, honestly. Then we have Videl the Interceptor, which is a super combo, gains sand in all areas, and then auto if your leader card's blue, lays 4 or less. When this card's using a combo, draw 1. Just a very, very typical super combo. Kind of unfortunate, but also decent at the same time that you know, you might not be able to allocate your super combo slot to a better super combo. You might need to play Videl just for the name, although there is another Videl you can play that we'll see in a second. So Videl Harness Power, 1-drop counter attack burst 1 to get the attack and play this card, gains sand in all areas. Auto, if your SSG Goku Crimson Warriors in a battle and there are no cards in your combo, you can combo it from your drop. So it's got the same combo effect, which again is kind of nice. And if you don't want to play the Videl super combo, you can obviously play this as a 1-drop negate. And cards like this are really nice because D-Magic gives you a lot of excess energy, so being able to actually use that for a negate is again pretty nice. Then we have Vegeta Harness Power. We have auto when this card is using a combo, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's combo area and return it to the owner's hand. So basically an archetype version of the East Kai, which used to be really popular for bouncing your opponent's Raider's Warcry back to their hand from the combo area, and then it has the combo effect for the second auto, which is nice. This again probably more of a side deck card than anything, but we do have Vegeta the Interceptor, which is a 3-drop counter. If your leader card's blue, play this card. So it doesn't actually stop a counter, it just gets played at that time, which honestly I don't really know why you'd want to do that. The only cool thing you can kind of do with this is like use this in response to your opponent using a counterplay and get some tricky things off. But other than that, it's dual attack. When this card's played, choose up 2 of your opponent's battle cards and place them at the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. So ignoring the counter thing, this thing is really solid removal for 3 energy, so I can see this being very playable. Again though, maybe not in a deck like this. Probably Soul Striker, where you can play it and get 2 energy back. Probably SS3 Reboot, where it's practically free, and again, probably SS4 Vegeta, where you're just getting a lot of excess energy. This leader can untap 1 after you play this guy, which is definitely not bad, but you know, those other leaders just definitely outvalue this leader. There's kind of no 2 ways around it. Then we have Goten cards. So Goten Harness Power, Counter Attack, negate the attack and play this card. Auto Burst 2, when this card's played, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost greater than the current energy, and return it to the owner's hand. And then it has the combo effect. Not too great of a card, admittedly. And then we have Sun Goten the Interceptor. Attack, add 1 card from light to hand, gains 11k for the turn, and at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. So neither of these cards are seemingly all that great. I guess you could play Harness Power for the combo effect, which is a pretty solid value effect. Like every time you use your leader's activate battle, if you're not gonna quote unquote surge multiple cards from underneath him, you'd want a different name each time that has that combo ability. That's how you can get the most value over time out of your leader. So that's solid, but this is where I kind of want to urge you guys to go look at all the different Gotens, Trunks, Videls, Gohans, and Vegetas that are blue in the game, because they're all going to be playable if you're trying to really work around the theme of this deck, which requires you to have all those different names, just so you guys are kind of thinking about that. And then we have Trunks Harness Power, 2-drop 10k, counterplay, play this card, Auto Burst 2, when this card's played, choose to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less and return it to the owner's hand. Again, not so great, mostly because it costs 2 and only bounces a card back to hand, and at that point it's also only a 5 or less. So this and the Goten, not all that amazing. Does have the combo effect, which again is not bad. And then we have SS Trunks the Interceptor. Auto, add 1 card from light to hand. When this card attacks, it gets plus 11k for the turn. At the end of the turn, switch 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode. Not too bad, but I know for a fact there are a handful of you know, Trunks Views and Gotens, because there have been blue Gotenks fusion engines in the past, which definitely give you a decent amount of fusion materials to look at, possibly play in this deck. Nice thing is they don't really care what the power is, because this isn't really a fusion deck. You just need the Goten and Trunks names. But overall, guys, closing thoughts. Again, I don't think they're banning Soul Striker, at least on this ban list. If it happens to you know, take on a more predominant role in the meta, I can maybe see them doing something about it, maybe for set 17. But yeah, as far as this pure archetype goes, there are some cards in it that I like, but I just don't think it's gonna be that strong of an archetype deck. I don't think the leader is even all that bad, because again, there are a lot of really good blue sands you can play to satisfy the unawakened leader, so that's not too bad. But as far as the pure archetype goes, it's definitely looking pretty roguish in my opinion. Again, especially while SS4, Soul Striker, and S3 Reboot all exist. But anyways, guys, I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.